Hey guys, classichomer, welcome to a bonus episode for Let's Play Dragon Quest II. In this one, I'm showing off the not post-game content, end-game content, where I don't have Cain. I let him get cursed in Baron and then never brought him back with the Leaf of the World tree. So the point is to show the differences in how the game plays when you don't have him around. You know, boss strategies and ways to deal with regular enemies and how to even get to Hargon's castle, because I think the enemies out here are harder than the ones inside of said castle. Gold baboons or devil lords, whatever, use sleep from Maria and the thunder sword on Roland. Also, for levels, we are at 40 and 30, which gives us an average level of 35. I think that's as high as you need to get. Obviously, when I only had when I had all three characters, I didn't need to be quite that high level. Things are different now. All these fights are a lot tougher. As such, you really kind of just need to go all out and try and do what you can to win. Like, you can't just pull back and treat every little fight like it is just a little fight. Every one of these things is going to be pretty tough. That's why I bothered to bust out the defense spell against this guy. And as far as equipment goes, basically just these two already had the best stuff anyway. So, not really having a lot of changes there. I don't think that I went and got... No, I do not have this Staff of Thunder. I have the Wizard Staff, and it doesn't really matter. Maria's not going to physically attack anything, and anytime she would have used her Staff of Thunder as an item, she can just cast Explode It instead. I'm really not liking the look of this fight. Arc Demons are a big problem, but so are Blizzards, because Blizzards have defeat, and if that hits you, well, you're boned. That round is screwed. You have to go and try something else. I really should have kept that Falcon Sword on Roland. Not sure what I was thinking there. Oh well, hindsight. The Gigantes, or whatever giants there, Jesus Christ, getting wrecked by that Arc Demon. They're still a problem because they can still get a critical hit in on you, but they're really not too big a deal. Let's get the Falcon Sword. I don't think this guy's got a whole lot left. And Explode It is super useful at this point because you have so few ways to actually deal out the damage. You gotta take advantage of what you got. And there you go. So that's how you would deal with it. That's a pretty rough battle right there. But that's a good way to try and handle it. Oh good, Silver Devils. They're not nearly as bad. You know what? I'll just keep the Falcon Sword on and explode it. Hit the Blizzard because Explode may not take it out. Whereas, wow. Explode did take... Wow! I didn't expect the Explode spell to actually kill anything. I was just using that for raw damage and have the Falcon Sword clean everything else up. Oh, that's pretty good. Okay, make it in here. Of course, just like usual, you need to get the Charmarubus out. And screw it, whatever, I'm on a post-content, or post-main gameplay, so I don't care about using fast forward to just speed things up. You've seen it all anyway. Now Maria's got up to, I don't even remember what level it was, I think 29 she learned Open. But now that she's high enough to have Open, we're going to use it and not carry any keys, as you can see in her inventory. Instead, I stocked up on prayer rings for Maria. I'm not sure why I have an open slot for Roland. You really should have something there. Even if it's just like opening a Chimera or something. Anything. And yeah, we don't have stop spells, so Maria just has to take all that damage walking through the damage tiles. And that's okay, just cast Heal All afterwards. And there's Statue of Evil. There we go. Inside. And things should be pretty simple from here. Relatively speaking. Of course, the bosses are still bosses, and will still give me trouble. Especially since I'm down the character. Demon Priests, they're really just gonna have to go at them and go at them hard. As far as I know, they'll be immune to pretty much everything Maria can do. Even if she casts defense on, I don't think it's going to reduce the number of turns it'll take to kill it. Explode it may hit, but I don't think it's very likely. May as well just defend at that point. That way she can take less damage than Roland and then use her later battles for healing. Or I could heal outside of the battle, but that costs more MP because of the mystery cap, I'm going to call it. And I don't feel like looking up the item name right this very second. There's so many translations for it, it's hard to keep track of which one is which. Especially with this translation patch I'm using. I maybe should have found a better one. I mean, it works, but you guys have seen how nearly every enemy name is different, and I'm listing 2 for all of them. Atlas is really kind of the same. I probably should have healed a little bit before starting the encounter. You want to get defense on him. Unfortunately, without Kane around, we can't cast Increase on ourselves to increase our survivability for the fight. Because he will still wreck you with his physical attacks. Thankfully, Maria's Heal All can help out a lot with that. Unless she's the... oh god. I'm really glad she didn't die from that. I'm also really glad that she's really fast. There we go. Otherwise, that could have gone bad. I was a little careless running in there without healing. But since we're at max, or near enough to max, we can just go right on to Bazuzu. Get the lightning sword out because he has so much defense. I'm not going to cast defense on him, I'm going to cast sleep. Because it usually works. Although, I have seen it not work before, and it kind of blows when that happens. We'll go ahead and cast defense now. Oh wow. I'm surprised that hit. I'm getting really lucky with all my spells today. Oh, whatever, just defend. Doesn't matter, Roland's going to kill him this turn. Bazuzu does not have nearly as much HP as Atlas. It's kind of interesting how they set up the bosses. Because Atlas is like just a physical powerhouse. Bazuzu is a mixture. Kind of more magic heavy, I would say. Whereas this guy is a true mixture and a true bastard. I hate him so much. Maria's pretty much useless right now. Well, not entirely. Explode It can hit on him, but man, the fact that defense will not work really reduces what she can do, and that she doesn't have increase doesn't help either, because his physical attacks is so threatening. I really wish I could increase her defense at least a little bit. Instead, I really just need her to keep Roland alive while he just goes to town with the lightning sword, and hope we don't see him cast Heal All on himself, or else that's gonna suck, because that'll be all those turns wasted. Thank God. Yeah, that guy you just have to go all in. Keep an eye on Maria's HP. Whatever, just a heal more, because she's going to need to heal again here in a second. Whoop, yeah, walk past the door, that's a great idea. Okay. I mean, just like before, we have Hargon coming up. So let's go ahead and use Heal All twice. Once for each character, and then use those prayer rings. Maria has, what, like, almost 180 maximum MP or some such? Ridiculously high, because of how late in the game, or how far along her level progression is. So I'm not sure that's something I really brought to the forefront. That's good enough. Everyone has a different maximum level. So, Roland could get up to 50, but I think from, like, 35 on, his levels are pitiful. Whereas, Kane could have gotten up to 45, and I think from 35 on, his levels start to get really good, at least in strength. And Maria can only get up to 35. And, I don't know, I'm seeing her get pretty high HP and MP boosts on like nearly every level, so there could be a reason to continue leveling her. Hargon himself is sort of an asshole. As far as I know, defense won't work. So, kinda just like with the last guy, you wanna go all in, hit him with your most powerful attacks, and keep Maria in mind for healing. Like, yeah, I'm probably gonna want her to heal herself this turn, or the coming turn, and then have her heal Roland the one after that. Well, not spells, that's power shield. Oh good, Hargon, well, he didn't waste a turn healing. I think he might even heal for more than my attack deals to him. So, I suppose I shouldn't say wastes. But it's better for him to heal when we're healing, rather than, going all out against us while we're desperately trying to get back on our feet. Now, in one of the last episodes, someone mentioned how the cross is prominently figured in the final parts of the game for the, you know, as a symbol of the evil guy, of Hargon and of Malroth. Which is interesting, but, well, they asked if the game designers and developers were trying to make a statement with it, and say that Christianity is evil. I don't really think so, because, well, Christianity in general is a minority religion in Japan. And considering the game was made in 1987, I can only assume that was more true then than it even is today. I think. It's kind of hard to say on that. Oh, you know, I really should have healed before starting this fight. I was too busy talking and not actually thinking about what was happening in game. Excuse me. So, with that said, there's a lot of paths to go down that talk about the cross being used in the game. That was bad. That was hurtful. I may actually end up losing this fight because of my distraction and not healing before the fight. Let's just get him to max. Okay. So, a couple things to point out. First of all, Hargon's symbol was not the cross, like for the entire game. It was the bat symbol, which I think is supposed to be representative of Malroth himself. Just every enemy we saw that had any sort of symbol had that bat symbol. The mages on their robes, the skeleton knights on their shields, and even the demi-ghosts, death god, mouse ghosts, whatever enemies, specters. They even had little tiny bat things on their hoods of their hats. So I really think that's supposed to be the symbol of evil, but because Hargon is an evil priest in the game, this is probably a terrible idea. You know what? I do want to lower his defense again. I don't want to go a turn without getting some kind of healing on Roland. Christ! Speaking of, there were also all the other priests in the game that had the cross as their symbol in their holy houses, their churches, houses of healing, whatever you want to call it. So I think that they were really just using the cross as a catch-all. Like, the Japanese really seem to enjoy pulling from other cultures, and since Christianity is from the Middle East in origin and largely thought of as a, well, I guess largely thought of as like a white religion, Anglo-Saxon kind of thing, for Japanese I could only assume that it seemed exotic, so they put it in the game at any point where, you know, a religious figure was presented. Didn't really matter if Hargon was an evil priest or if it was the priest in Lauricea or in Cannock or in any other town. They just use the cross. And in later games, they'll continue using the cross. They'll modify it, like in Dragon Quest VIII, you see it's more like a trident shape. You got points coming up from the two arms. And they all have, like, arrowhead points on them. So, they do change it. They continue to call them churches, though. And they're not dedicated to God, they're dedicated to a goddess. Which, yeah, that's cool. I like them making their own mythology a little bit in that. So, I really think they were just using it as a catch-all, not as a statement. And furthermore, in the NES release, not the Famicom, not the Japanese Famicom release, in the American NES release, Dragon Warrior 2, they took the crosses out because Nintendo America does a whole lot of censoring. So they weren't even intending to have audiences outside of Japan see the cross get used, because I'm pretty sure they realized that could be offensive to some people. I'm not especially offended by it, but I'm also not especially Christian. I could go into a long discussion about that, but I don't want to deal with comments about exactly where my faith lies, or how much of I have. So, not a whole lot more on that topic. Just saying, I killed Malroth with only 2 characters. The importance of the cross being used is not very high. And they didn't intend for it to be offensive, or else they would have kept it in the North American releases. It's been a little while since I played the Game Boy Color version of the game. I don't think it was used there. In fact, I can even check that right this very moment. Game Boy Color Dragon Warrior 2. Pull up the dungeon maps. Wow, no. And the Game Boy Color version of it, they actually left the cross in. Interesting. And the Game Boy Color version of the game is the same as this one. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any way of getting back to town quickly and easily. But there are some different things that will happen now that I have Kane away from the party and I've finished the game. Not, you know, exceedingly interesting, but a little bit different. And that's the reason I love doing things like this. Just out of the ordinary, play through the game in a more challenging and very different way. Never did talk to this guy after I finished the game. Okay, yeah, he's just telling us to go and see the world now that we've saved it. And oh right, I forgot, she just rambles, saying the same thing over and over and over and doesn't stop because I'm assuming a glitch. Either she says it like so many times I don't feel like, you know, sitting there going through it all. So, now that we're back here in Baron, it's a little different. Wow. That guy has a lot of things to say about us being awesome. And now you can see Kane is back on his feet. We can come and talk to him, and the game's still getting the names incorrect, but so be it. But, yay, we did it without him. He's, I guess, disappointed. It's like, I really wanted to help. But, you know, screw you. You got cursed, you couldn't deal with it. I'm sure that, it's too bad and too late for you. I just want to see what this prisoner says. I don't have any particular reason to find out. But, okay. Well, there are a few people I want to go see, particularly the kings of the world and one other person. So, I'm going to cut here and go see these people. Or I could just walk around and show you, because, honestly, the world of Dragon Quest II, not nearly as big as it may seem when you get into a random battles like every 4 or 5 steps. So, you know, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll just show you, like, how not massive this place actually is when you get down to it. And granted, I think they could have done a better job keeping the oceans under control, because it's a pretty long trip by boat to get from one end to the other. Or they get to go from the northern to the southern area, because, you know, the map wraps around and it's actually not completely correct to how the real world does, but, you know, whatever. That's an RPG, they did what they could. Just gonna sail all the way around Alfgard. So I'm gonna get up here to... yeah, this should work. Could work better, but this will work. Oh, whatever, this will be just fine. I want to come up here and see the Dragon Lord. And this place won't be any different, unfortunately. Oh man, as such, did I get all the way through that whole Christianity evil talk? Yeah, I'm just going to fast forward through here. Yeah, when you have the maps, well, not memorized, but I know them well enough now from just this playthrough. You know, because it's been so recent, I can find my way through here pretty quickly. You see, we're already at the end. Thankfully, these things won't hurt us. Aw, put away all the keys. They're in storage. So this is something I should have come and done much earlier, because in here we'll find the world map. Oh, that wouldn't have been useful at all, ever. No, of course not. Oh, well. I suppose that would be true inside of a place. And steel armor, that wouldn't have been helpful by the time we got here, but the strength seed could have been useful still. But honestly, world map, come on. I really probably should have gotten that. Oh well. Just gonna zip along here. Now we're back. I want to see what the great-great-great-grandson of the Dragon Lord actually has to say to us. I don't think we're really good friends. We just had a mutual enemy. But if he wants to be friends and he doesn't want to threaten the world, I guess that's okay. So fine. I'll call him Ryu from now on. Apparently that's his first name. I think that he's saying, forget formal titles, we're friends now. That kind of thing. And the king of Tantegel, despite having the world saved, is still being a coward. Because he's still holed up in here. And I guess that I should have come and talked to him earlier. I think he lies about his identity, trying to hide it, even though it's clear that he's the king. Whatever, king, you're pathetic. Sad excuse of a ruler. Let's take a look at that world map. Yeah, there you go. So, see that huge gray circle? That's Roland. That whole place is just so much wasted space, because that big gray border is mountain. They could have used all that space for something, but no. Instead, screw it. Like, an eighth of the map is just not accessible. I'm not sure this map. Actually, I'm gonna venture a guess to say that... I was going to say maybe it does fill in, but then again, taking a better look at it, I think all the parts that may be gray and not filled in are really just mountains. Oh well. This is how you would tell where all those really tiny islands out there are. Kind of different. Yeah, whatever. We go back to Moonbrook Castle, but the king there says the same thing he did before, only now his king sprite is sitting on this throne. Which is not that interesting, honestly. Oh, we're by Hamlin, aren't we? Yeah, we are. I know the map a little bit too well, maybe. If I can sail up to a side and have a good idea of where I'm at. Nope, I want to go up to Cannock. Because Kane's family, I like Kane's family, they're funny people. Let's talk to his sister. Really? Okay. I'm assuming she's actually speaking directly to Kane and not to the player. Siblings squandering and squabbling, and I guess not really squandering. Blah, sibling fight. I think it really would have been cool to have brought her along, even if she's completely useless. And Kane's dad is just like, you know, oh, good job, son and nephew and niece. Now, go back to Lorcia, because that's where the game's trying to get you to go to end the game. As such, actually, there's not really anything else to do here, is there? Or anywhere, for that matter. I mean, I guess I could talk to more people, but those were the key characters I could think of that would be interesting to speak to. Maybe the King of Darkendal would have something cool to say too, but I doubt it. So, with that being said and done, there's still one more thing I want to do, and I'll do that in a separate episode for the sake of video length, but I want to do that glitch that made Maria disappear, and I regained Kane. Or, you know, there were two Kanes on screen, and then one disappeared, and then Maria disappeared along with it. I want to go do that, and I want to get back to the end of the game. I want to see how hard it is to fight Hargon and all his cronies with only the two princes and not the spellcasting heavy-duty mage power of Maria. So, see you guys on the final episode of Dragon Quest II with that.